Hello, so I'm back to do a video, this time to talk about the Royal Rumble, which happened on Sunday. Um, just thought I would make a video today. I saw it for the second time today, so I took a mental note of some things that happened. Okay, so let's start with the first match, I suppose. Let's start with the opening match, which was Edge vs. Dolph. Great match. A lot of spots where you were expected to see Dolph supposed to win. Edge put over a very impressive victory win over over Dolph, which for me was probably very interesting for me as an Edge fan to watch Dolph Ziggler take Edge to the limit, and then obviously Edge taking Dolph back and making him somewhat of a superstar better than what he is already anyway. I believe that Dolph could be a potential 2011 superstar to watch out for. He has everything to give and a lot to gain from it. And if anything, he's like the spots that he had in the match with Edge, with the crossbody roll through and double crossblock and body clock block and the zigzag with the close 3 count, and it was just everything for that match just gelled very well together, and it was probably more than what I expected it to be. It lasted for almost 25 minutes of the match, of the card, which was quite long. So it was a very interesting way to open the show, and it had everything that the audience wanted to see as an opening match. The obvious thing that come out of this is, what did Kelly get out of this? Kelly, why did she attack Vicky Guerrero? I didn't quite understand that, and if you know why, then please tell. Interesting note during this match, on Twitter, CM Punk roughly posted about 15 minutes after the pay-per-view went live on Twitter that he said, "It's now time for showtime." So I don't know what that means, but after watching Raw this week and the promo with the 21st of the 2nd, I have no idea if he means Sting, or it means that it's just a unknown fact, like for him costing Randy Orton the championship, which I'm going to speak about now, which is Randy Orton versus The Miz. Was the second match, which probably surprised a lot of fans. They didn't expect the Divas match to be before the Rumble. It makes sense for why they broke it up, though, just so that the audience can calm down for a bit and then be boosted back up with the Rumble. I was very impressed with the Rumble, with how The Miz and Orton faced off in this match. It wasn't a simple match. There was a point when Miz monkey flipped Randy Orton, and his head just went whack right into the turnbuckle, and he had no hands to protect his head. I thought that was quite extreme. I thought that was quite brutal. So I'm expecting him to be down for quite a long time after that, but he went straight back onto the offensive straight away, which I thought was a bit like not very good at selling, quite annoyingly. But the match itself was okay, better than what people probably expected, because everyone expected Orton to dominate, and then Miz just to cash in at the very opportunistic roll up or something. I'm happy to say that didn't happen. But on the other hand, did anyone see this one coming? When Nixon started scrolling down the aisle, no one saw this one happening. The referee was knocked down. Orton hit an RKO on The Miz on in the inside of the ring, and looked obvious that he was going to win the championship. And then out comes Nexus. No thought of anyone else's, but we were just like, why are they coming out? What's their reason? What's their method? There's no reason for him to come out or them to come out. And then out came Punk from underneath the ring from the other side after A-Rai was thrown onto the members on the outside, apart from Punk. Orton turns around and gets GTS'd. I don't know if Punk meant this was Showtime or something else was Showtime, but to me that was a very big moment. Like, he almost gave away something that if you were watching on Twitter at the same time of watching the show, it was a bit like, oh, what's going on? It's like, it raised a lot of questions. It just made you think what he meant by it. And Natalia went out as well, and she posted on Twitter before she went out for her match as well, which I wasn't completely. I think it was something like Natalia posted, "Win or lose, I still got the greatest fans in WWE, but I'm here to win," or something along them lines. And obviously she lost her championship in the Fatal 4-Way, which to me is the worst thing I've ever seen. If you're gonna make a match on pay-per-view like that, then maybe you should have just changed it altogether and made it like a battle royal, like a woman's version of the Royal Rumble. Because I just thought, what's the point? Especially Eve Torres being added in. I know there's a lot of Eve fans out there, but I'm just like, why Eve? Does it make sense that Eve got the chance instead of Melina? You know, I mean, Melina had the chance 6 days before. I understand that, but at the end of the day, I thought Melina and Natalia's match was going to happen on pay-per-view, so it doesn't make a lot of sense to why Eve was added in, but it does make sense for the fact that Awesome Kong's supposed to be coming into WWE, and if you don't know who that is, look up TNA matches on YouTube or something, because she is scary. She dominated the knockouts for quite some time in TNA. She was like unstoppable. But back to Orton and Punk, I think it goes back a long way. A lot of people probably has forgotten that Punk was cost the championship himself. At Unforgiven by Orton, he was punted in the head and lost the championship by technical default. He couldn't appear for the match, so Mike Adamle, the GM at the time, replaced him with Chris Jericho, who went on to win the championship that night. Randy Orton was the one who punted him, so I think it's going to be a build-up for WrestleMania between Orton and Punk for that reason. I think it should be quite an interesting match and a build-up because of that reason, but whether it's solid on the show is going to be up to them, really. But I hope it's a good match, and I hope whenever it does happen, if it does happen at WrestleMania, it's gonna be one of those unpredictable matches, not so obvious, hopefully. So Royal Rumble started off with Punk. Probably could have guessed this, but I thought one of my friends thought that Barrett was going to be number 2, and then they were fight off for quite some time. It looked like it was going to be that at first, but obviously it was just a Core versus Nexus battle. It looked kind of a bit scrappy. The spot didn't look very good, in my opinion. I just thought it shouldn't have happened like that. It was not my opinion on what should have happened in the Rumble. And of course, obviously, the general manager gets rid of them all. Punk starts, number 2 comes out, which is Daniel Bryan, and then obviously every minute and a half, every superstar comes out. Everyone's probably buzzing about Booker T and Kevin Nash, aka Diesel, coming back and making their returns. I have never heard pops like that before in a Rumble match. Not even Rob Van Dam got a pop like that in 2009's Rumble. So it's very incredible how Booker T was loud and then Diesel was louder. You know, it was pretty amazing. If people have read the spoilers, they would probably already know that Booker T has replaced Matt Striker on commentary on SmackDown, which probably means that King's not going to be on commentary, so that therefore he could build up the story with Miz over the next couple of weeks. A lot of people are already guessing that Jerry the King Lawler is going to have a match at Mania, and I probably would agree. Who against is kind of a bit questionable at the moment, but he should be at Mania in a match, if not his farewell match, maybe. There's a lot of people saying that he's going to be retiring after WrestleMania. I don't know if that's true, false, or whatever. So yes, and the Rumble match was a bit of a domination from Nexus in the middle stages. It got kind of a bit boring, but at the same time, when watching it first time around, it was so capsulating. Like, you didn't expect them to dominate the middle bit. But I'm glad when Cena come out, they got rid of them all, and that the fact is Cena cleared that bit of the portion of the Rumble out. So it's like, right, finally, next, let's get on to the next part of the Rumble. In Forte, Alberto Del Rio won the Royal Rumble, and last eliminating Santino, which thank God he did not win. A lot of people did not see that one coming, Alberto Del Rio, but I think it was kind of a bit obvious, being coming in at a late number. He could have been a bit lower than that to make it that slightly bit like, oh, he's not going to win. But number 38 coming in 2 numbers before the end, it's a bit, oh, he's going to win. Just to speak on Orton, Orton is a very bad seller. He was GTS and he come out in the Rumble as if he hasn't even had a match all night. I thought he didn't sell his injuries enough. And then there's Dolph, who comes out holding his ribs, and I remember he did a splash to someone in the corner and he held his ribs for about a good 2 minutes after he did that. And to me, he sold it better than Orton, who's a technically more established superstar. So I don't know what's good. I don't know why I think that's better or relevant. I just thought that was an interesting point to bring up. So Alberto Del Rio to challenge Edge at WrestleMania, by the looks of things. It looks like Cena versus Miz is going to happen. Christian. Randy Orton and Punk, and it looks like Barrett's going to get his wish and face Taker at Mania. That sounds like the 4 matches that are definitely clear at the moment, but I'm not really sure if that's going to stand or move around or anything. So it should be quite interesting to see in the next couple of weeks for the build up for Chamber how that happens, if at all. But yeah, out of all, I would say the Rumble was a good, solid show and very enjoyable to watch. So if you haven't seen it, try to find it somewhere and watch it. You know, it's a very good show. And yeah, subscribe to my page, and hope you enjoy the videos. And yeah, and I'll probably do another video sometime during the week on the whole WWE week. So hope you enjoy, and check out my videos when they come up.